What if I told you the most high-tech appliance in your kitchen, your fridge, is actually making some of your food go bad faster? It sounds wild, but our ancestors used simple, science-backed tricks to manage food, and honestly, their methods put our modern refrigerators to shame. And these weren't just cute historical habits. They were genius food hacks that could keep things fresh for months, not days. Long before refrigerators, people knew how to prevent spoilage, boost flavor, and waste almost nothing. Today, we're digging up 10 of those ancient secrets that will outsmart your fridge, save you a ton of money, and reconnect you with some seriously clever ancestral wisdom. You're throwing away good food and cash because you're storing it wrong, but that all stops today. Hack 1. The water cure for cucumbers. Let's start with a classic victim of the modern fridge, the poor cucumber. You buy it firm and crisp, and in just a few days, it's a shriveled, soggy mess. That's because your refrigerator's cold, dry air is literally sucking the life out of it. But our ancestors knew the secret was simple: hydration. So treat your cucumbers like a bouquet of flowers. Don't just chuck them in the crisper. Stand them upright in a jar, add a bit of water, seal the lid, and pop it in the fridge. How does this work? The water keeps the cucumber cells plump and crisp, and the sealed jar creates a humid little paradise that your crisper drawer can only dream of. This one tiny change can keep your cucumbers perfectly crunchy for weeks, and sometimes even up to a month. No more slimy surprises. Just swap out the water every few days and you're golden. Hack 2, the root cellar method for carrots. Next up, carrots. If yours go from snappy to rubbery in a week, you're doing it wrong. The fix comes from the OG of food preservation, the root cellar. Root cellars work because they were cool, dark, and humid. We can copy that vibe right inside our fridge. First things first, if your carrots have their leafy green tops, chop them off. Those greens are little moisture vampires that suck the life and nutrients right out of the carrot. Now for the root cellar magic. Place your trimmed, unwashed carrots in a sealed bag with a paper towel inside. The bag traps humidity, and the paper towel is your climate control. It soaks up extra condensation so nothing rots. Stored this way in the coldest part of your fridge, your carrots won't just last for a week. They can stay crisp for months. You've just made a tiny, portable root cellar. Hack 3. The breathable blanket for onions and garlic. This next one is a mistake almost everybody makes. You get home and toss your onions and garlic in the crisper, probably still in that plastic produce bag. A few weeks later, you find a mushy, sprouted nightmare. The problem? You suffocated them. Onions and garlic need to breathe. Trapping them in plastic creates a humid, stagnant party for mold and rot. The ancient technique, still. The best way is all about airflow. After harvest, onions and garlic were cured or dried in an airy spot. This creates that papery skin, which is nature's perfect armor. To do this at home, get them out of plastic immediately. Store them in a cool, dark, dry place with great ventilation. A mesh bag, a wire basket, or even a paper bag with holes punched in it is perfect. And whatever you do, don't store them next to potatoes. They're bad influences on each other, releasing gases and moisture that speed up spoilage. Give them air, and they'll last for months. Hack 4. The Earth's embrace for potatoes and squash. Speaking of potatoes, here's a tip that goes against what a lot of people think. If you store potatoes, sweet potatoes, or hard-shelled squash like butternut or pumpkin in the fridge, you're accidentally ruining them. Our ancestors used the earth. They stored these veggies in cool, dark root cellars or buried them in sand, using the ground's stable, cool temperature as a natural preserver. Your fridge is actually too cold for these starches. The cold turns potato starches into sugar, giving them a weirdly sweet taste and making them darken when you cook them. For squash, the fridge's humidity can make them decay faster. The solution is to mimic that root cellar. Find a cool, dark, and ventilated spot. A pantry, a basement, or even a corner in the garage is great. The sweet spot is between 45 and 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Keep them in a basket or a box where air can move around, and don't wash them until you're ready to use them. That little bit of dirt actually helps protect them. Stored right, potatoes and squash can last for several months. No tech needed. Just a quiet, dark place to hang out. If you're loving these forgotten secrets, hit that subscribe button for more ancient wisdom. We've got so much more to share. Hack 5. The bouquet method for herbs and asparagus. Now for the delicate stuff that seems to wilt if you just look at it. Funny. Fresh. Herbs and asparagus. How many times have you bought a beautiful bunch of cilantro only for it to become a slimy yellow mess in 2 days? The problem, again, is your fridge is just chilling them, it's not keeping them alive. And that's the secret. You have to treat them like the living plants they are. Use the bouquet method. When you get home, trim the stems just like you would for flowers. Then, stand the bunch up in a jar with an inch or so of water. For leafy herbs like parsley and cilantro, you can loosely cover them with a plastic bag to create a mini greenhouse that traps humidity right where they need it. Then just put the whole bouquet in the fridge. This works because the stems keep drinking water, keeping the leaves hydrated and happy. It's the difference between a cut flower left on the counter and one in a vase. With this trick, your herbs can stay green for over a week, and asparagus can stay crisp for up to 2 weeks. Hack 6. The vinegar bath for leafy greens. There's nothing worse than buying a big box of spring mix and watching it turn into a bag of green sludge before you get to it. Leafy greens are so quick to spoil because of 2 things: too much moisture and bacteria. Our ancestors often used natural antibacterial cleaners like vinegar, and we can do the same. This vinegar bath hack will keep your lettuce crisp for weeks. When you get your greens home, give them a bath in a mix of about 10 parts cold water to 1 part white vinegar. Swish them around for a minute or 2. The vinegar gently cleans the leaves and kills off the sneaky mold and bacteria that cause them to rot so fast. After the bath, this next step is absolutely critical. Get them completely dry. A salad spinner is your best friend here, but laying them on a clean towel works too. Once they are bone dry, store them in an airtight container with a paper towel at the bottom to soak up any leftover moisture. Lettuce that would normally get slimy in days can stay perfectly crisp for up to 3 weeks, sometimes even longer. Hack 7. The isolation chamber for fruits. Our final hack deals with a problem your fridge actually makes worse: chemical warfare. Many fruits, especially apples, release a natural ripening gas called ethylene. It's odorless and colorless, but it sends a powerful signal to other produce telling them, hey, it's time to ripen, and then rot. When you toss an apple into the crisper with your carrots and broccoli, you're basically putting a ticking time bomb in there with them. The ethylene gas from that one apple will make everything around it spoil so much faster. Ancient farmers knew this just by watching. They saw that storing certain fruits together was a recipe for disaster. This is the isolation hack. Know your big ethylene producers. Apples, bananas, peaches, and pears are major ones. Store them separately from things that are sensitive to ethylene, like leafy greens, carrots, and cucumbers. Keep apples in their own bag, or their own drawer in the fridge. And that fruit bowl on your counter? Don't let it be a free-for-all. Keep bananas away from avocados unless you want to make guacamole tomorrow. By simply playing traffic cop with your produce, you stop your fridge from becoming a spoilage chamber. Hack 8. The paper pouch for mushrooms. If you keep reaching for mushrooms and finding a slimy, nasty mess, the problem is probably not the mushrooms. It is the plastic. That tight grocery store wrap is one of the fastest ways to ruin them. Mushrooms hold a lot of moisture, and plastic traps that moisture instead of letting them breathe, which turns them soggy and gross in just a few days. Years ago, this was handled better. In the 80s and 90s, mushrooms were often displayed loose, and shoppers would fill small paper bags made specifically for them. You see, paper absorbs excess moisture while still allowing airflow, which helps mushrooms stay fresher much longer. The ancient but simple solution is all about breathability. For centuries, foragers and cooks knew mushrooms needed air. To mimic this, take them out of the plastic immediately and put them into a paper bag. The porous paper absorbs excess moisture while still allowing the mushrooms to breathe. This simple swap can keep your mushrooms firm and fresh for over 2 weeks, not just a couple of days. No more slime, just earthy goodness ready for the pan. Hack 9. The cloth wrap for bread. Here's something that might surprise you. Putting bakery bread in the fridge is the fastest way to make it go stale. The cold, dry air of a refrigerator speeds up the crystallization of starch, turning a beautiful loaf into a hard brick. Before plastic bags and preservatives, people kept bread fresh by wrapping it. The best method was to wrap the loaf in a linen or cotton cloth and store it in a cool, dark place like a bread box. The cloth is the secret. It's breathable enough to prevent the crust from getting soggy, but protective enough to stop the inside from drying out. It creates the perfect microclimate, keeping bread fresh for days longer. Hack 10. The vinegar cloth for cheese. Hard and semi-hard cheeses are designed for longevity. After all, cheese itself is an ancient form of preservation. But once you cut into it and wrap it in plastic, you trap moisture, which can make the cheese sweat and encourage mold. Our ancestors' methods were all about letting the cheese breathe. A brilliant hack is to use a cloth lightly dampened with vinegar. Just moisten a paper towel or cheesecloth with a little white vinegar, wrap your cheese block in it, and then place it in a container. The vinegar's acidity creates an environment hostile to mold, and the cloth allows the cheese to breathe without drying out. This can keep your cheddar, Swiss, or Gruyere fresh and mold-free for weeks. So that's it. 10 pieces of ancient wisdom that prove older is sometimes better. By working with nature, managing moisture, airflow, and Temperature. You can make your food last longer and save lots of money. You're not just hacking your food, you're reclaiming a smarter, more sustainable way of life. Which of these hacks are you going to try first? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.